15:43, and he was seen in a resurrection by Mary Magdalene. This resurrection is stated as a bodily resurrection. The Jesus who died is said to have really appeared to Mary. You may not believe in a literal resurrection, but you must be honest and face the fact that the early church in this account is saying Jesus rose from the dead. Now these three facts modern scholarship would agree with. It falls in line with the work done by E.P. Sanders and others. In other words, as we've looked at the eyewitness accounts of Mark and learned that it is based on eyewitness accounts, we learned three basic facts from the Gospel of Mark. That Jesus died on a cross, that he was buried in a tomb, and then later Jesus was seen by Mary, okay? And the early church believed in a resurrection. These three facts accord with modern scholarship in historical studies. They do not contradict E.P. Sanders and others. So, if our historical source material is early source, is reliable, and based on eyewitness accounts, fits the historical context, accords with scholarship of most scholars, I conclude the following. I'll just let that finish because this is important. What happens is we get these people from India, India, and they just phone and they're just looking to sell you things, so that's why I never answer the phone. Okay, so we've got these three facts, so this is my conclusion from these basic facts. And they are facts of history. What I've just told you about Jesus dying, the empty tomb, the tomb, being buried in a tomb, and the disciples believing in a resurrection, those are just facts that modern scholarship believe in. You know, it's only fringe scholars like atheists that just don't agree with that. But so we're not saying, I'm not saying that Jesus rose from the dead at this point. I am now. All I'm saying is we can establish factually that Jesus died on a cross. We can establish factually that he was in the tomb. We can establish factually that the early church believed in a literal resurrection of Christ. We can establish that historically, very, very solidly. It's a certainty that that's historical bedrock, all right? And even if you disagree with me, you've got a big problem because you're going to have to deal with E.P. Sanders and the rest of the modern scholarship that's around. But I've got to that by my method. And from there, I am now going to deduce certain things from these three simple facts. If our historical source material is early source, is reliable, and based on eyewitness accounts, fits the historical context, and accords with scholarship of most scholars, I conclude the following. Either the disciples were lying, but this makes no sense. Why lie? What would they gain? They gain no money, sex, or power, which people who start new movements are often after. If you were lying, why would you preach your prophet died a criminal? People would have seen this as silly. So why did they preach it? If they lied, the enemies could have just produced the body of Jesus, and that would have been them exposed. Why preach in Jerusalem? All of your lies would have been exposed in no time. How come no one recanted of these so-called lies? Those who said they saw the golden plates of the Mormon Joseph Smith, some recanted. But then again, the next possible hypothesis is that they were deluded, had some illusion or vision. If this is the case,